It's a hot, really hot Friday in Texas, and I'm here in Missouri City, ready to drink some beer and get to know a new Houston local.
City of Houston is open for business.
Welcome home, Columbia. Beautiful, beautiful.
Hey, how's it
Hello,
going?
how are you?
Good. I'm Nathan.
To meet you. No, I'm
oh,
a
we're doing
hugger.
hugs. I love it. I love
Always, always hugs. Oh my gosh, thank you so much
it.
for
Of course. Thanks for coming out.
hanging out with me. I've been
That's awesome.
drinking some of your beer already.
Yeah, that's full glass. Does that mean you've
No,
already been through
I've
a
already
glass
been
or
through
two?
a little bit.
A little bit? Okay. That's acceptable.
Yes, thank you again for having me. Like I said,
yeah.
this is awesome in here. I mean, when you walk in, you're just like, this is the real deal,
Yeah,
you know?
Totally, yeah.
So tell me a little bit about you. Like,
About me?
Tell me your background story.
Background. I'm a music guy that owns a brewery now. It's kind of crazy. It's not what I wanted to do, not what I planned to do. I was hanging out with some buddies who wanted to start a brewery, and I thought it was a terrible idea, and then I thought it was a great idea, and stuck it through, and have 5 kids, and just,
You have 5 kids?
I have 5 kids, yes.
Okay,
Yes. Yeah, it's a
and
little
then
crazy.
you're also a musician, and you also have a brewery.
Correct, yeah.
You're like a one-man show.
Yeah, unfortunately.
No, that's awesome. That is so inspiring and really cool.
Yeah.
So, why beer? Like, I mean, you said you're friends, but were you into beer?
Yeah, totally, yeah. Love beer. Fell in love with good beer and craft beer. And,
So you're from Houston?
I'm from Houston, grew up in the Heights. Went like most people, started with kids, you move out to the burbs. One of the things I want to do out here is have a place where community can go.
Right. I mean, this is definitely the place to do it.
Absolutely,
I mean, you have like an awesome space here
Well,
for
thank you.
real,
Yeah.
for real. Have you seen Kylie Jenner and Travis Scott around here? Have you heard that they're
No.
hanging out around here?
That is the rumor.
You've heard?
I have heard. Yeah, there's a few houses around that we know where all the people are hanging out.
I
so.
am always trying to figure out where they are, but I just see Kylie at like Shipley's, so whatever.
Yeah, well, at Shipley's, of course. I
Exactly.
mean, everyone needs to go to Shipley's.
Yeah. If she was here right now, what beer do you think she would like?
Anyone can drink our beer. That's kind of our goal. I'm not saying you're gonna like every beer, but we want beer that anyone can try. So we have our best sellers are 2-hopper IPA.
Well, explain IPA, because I feel like everyone's like, oh yeah, IPA,
Yeah.
but do they really know what it is? Probably not.
Probably not. So it's an India Pale Ale.
Okay.
And so it actually roots from an English Pale Ale, but when India was a colony of England, then when they were transporting beer to India, they would put more hops in it for the trip, preserve it longer, and that's how we have an India Pale Ale.
It's a little stronger.
The alcohol content tends to be a little higher than pale ales, but we wanted an India Pale Ale that anyone can drink, or your IPA lovers still like it as well.
Yeah, I feel like people are transitioning so much, like when it comes to beer.
Sure.
I mean, there's the traditional ones, of course, but nowadays people really want the local stuff.
Sure, it's a popular thing, but I think our big part is we want to make a good product too. So sure, we're going to play into the local thing, and we want to be a community out here. But our number one thing on the list is we want to make quality good beer. So.
Right. So tell me the whole baseball thing. I mean, obviously, you're wearing the Astros hat,
yes.
which you got to represent.
Astros are, my number one. That's what it is.
And especially with, the Astros win, no big deal.
I know everyone was saying that. They're like, you timed this perfectly. The Astros win the World Series and you're opening a
It's
brewery.
so like relevant.
Yeah, and I was
here.
like, no, I wanted to open a
Yeah.
brewery like 5 years ago. It just took that long. So it was perfect timing at least. Yeah. We're in over 160 bars and restaurants around Houston in under a year. I feel like that's a pretty big deal for the small team we have and feel like we've got a really good product, and
Right.
people like the beer, and I'll hang my hat on that.
Cheers to you, and thank you so much for having me here. I'm
Yeah,
so
of course.
excited
Thanks for coming
to
out.
see what's up.
While Nathan runs the day-to-day operation of Texas Leauger, Doc is the mad genius behind what this place is all about. Really good beer.
Hey, I'm Doc. I'm the head brewer here at Texas Leauger. I started out brewing as a home brewer when I was in grad school, working on my PhD in material science at Colorado School of Mines. I got really into beer, and so I decided to start making some. Sure enough, I found a job where I could do that for a living, and I haven't looked back since. The first ingredient is malted barley. So I'll mix different flavors of malted barley and maybe a little oats or wheat here and there for different beers. Those will go into the mill where we'll crack the grain when we take them over to the next step in the mash tun. We'll mix up basically the consistency of oatmeal, and then we'll let that sit and cook for like an hour. And what will happen is there's some enzymes in that grain that's going to break those starches down into simple sugars that we can feed to the yeast to produce alcohol and CO2. Then we're going to pull off sugar water, which we call wort. We'll move it over to the boil kettle, where we'll bring it up to a boil and add hops. And at that point, it becomes sour wort, because we've got now added bitterness to it.
Next, he takes the sour wort over to a fermenting tank, where it'll stay for a couple of weeks, depending on the brew.
And we'll move it over into what's called a bright tank, and that's where we'll carbonate it. And then from there, straight into our packaging, which for us is kegs. Kegs go in the cooler, and straight right on tap.
So after my sit down with Nathan, he gave me a little tour of how Texas Leauger turns raw ingredients into their badass beer. It's so cool to think that we live in a country and a town where it's possible for a few friends to get together and make a place like this happen, make their dream happen. I don't know about y'all, but I find that really inspiring.
The best bees they will find.
So today was really fun. I got to meet Nathan of Texas Leauger brewery here in Missouri City. I mean, I just had a really good time. I mean, it's so cool that, you know, beer is in such a demand right now. I mean, people love craft beer. People are all about that local stuff, and this is exactly that. You know, I mean, what he talked to me about, just like, you know, being a dad of 5 and like chasing dreams and making stuff happen, it's really cool to see it kind of in the flesh. And I'm really excited for him. I really am. And this beer is awesome. I mean, it really is. I recommend the 2-hopper or the double hopper because it's awesome. Everybody should try it. I love it. And I still have 2 more tokens, and we'll see what happens.
Come join me in the search. I think that's what it takes.
So everyone should definitely come to Texas Leauger Brewery. It's a really hidden gem in Missouri City off of Pike Road. You really should not miss this. H-Town, take note.
Somehow hidden in plain sight. And we're all racing to a red light.
Hey everybody, it's Erica with On the Bayou, and I want you to make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram and Facebook. And if you want one of these awesome shirts to rep H-Town with us, then please go to our website below, and that's where you can get yours.